ever. And the East bracing for a summer scorcher with temperatures approaching 100 degrees.
Stunning reversal. President Trump admits the purpose of that Trump Tower meeting between his campaign, his son, and that Russian lawyer was to get dirt on Hillary Clinton. This as the president braces for a showdown with the special counsel. His lawyer says they're prepared to take their battle to the Supreme Court if Robert Mueller tries to subpoena the president.
Desperate search. Authorities tracking hundreds of tips to find missing college student Molly Tibbetts. The discovery 2 hours away. Could it be linked to her disappearance?
Breaking her silence, singer Demi Lovato now speaking out for the first time since that suspected overdose, the latest on her condition and her message to fans this morning.
The facts of life.
And celebrating the woman who taught us the facts of life.
Oh, you beautiful darling.
Charlotte Ray, passing away overnight. The wisdom, the lessons, and the hope she gave so many. As emotional tributes pour in from her co-stars this morning.
When you're learning the facts of
Live in Times Square, this is GMA with Robin Roberts, George Stephanopoulos, and Michael Strahan.
Good morning, America. Hope you're well this Monday morning. We know that song. We remember Charlotte Ray.
Oh, Mrs. Garrett was beloved by all of her co-stars, and we're going to hear from them, but also by all of us who watched her growing up.
Yeah, that was my generation.
Yes, mine too.
I absolutely love that show. Love Charlotte Ray and everyone else involved. So blessings to her. But we begin with that dangerous heat that is hitting both coasts this morning. We're feeling the scorcher here in the east, and out west, triple-digit temperatures are fueling at least 68 large fires right now. And Ginger Z, of course, is tracking it all for us. Good morning, Ginger.
Good morning to you, Michael. Yes, nearly 267,000 acres burning right now in the fourth largest fire in California state history. That's the Mendocino fire. It's a complex of fires, and you can see some of those stunning images from it. They've got now 15,000 homes threatened. You go to the Carr fire, and this one's been burning, now took another life over the weekend. That makes it 7, and that fire alone, it's burned more than 1,000 structures, and homes included there. And it's not just California. Oregon State, Washington State, both have fires, 17 actually combined, large uncontained fires, and they also have an excessive heat watch east of the Cascades, including Yakima, northern Idaho, and then excessive heat warnings for much of the desert Southwest. Guys, here, we're not getting a break with this big ridge either. Heat advisories for more than 96 to 100-degree heat indices later this afternoon, Michael.
All right, thank you so much, Ginger. Hopefully there is some relief in sight soon.
All right, Michael, thank you. We're going to move on now to President Trump and a dramatic new admission in the Russia investigation. Reversing course on previous denials, President now saying that the purpose of his son's Trump Tower meeting with Russians was to get information on Hillary Clinton. Our senior White House correspondent Cecilia Vega is in Washington with all the fallout. Good morning, Cecilia.
George, good morning to you. The explanations on this now infamous Trump Tower meeting have been shifting since day one, and now this admission from the president himself. But the real question this morning, what is Robert Mueller going to do with it? This morning, President Trump is bracing for an epic showdown with Robert Mueller. His attorney, Jay Sekulow, says if the special counsel subpoenas the president, they will take the fight all the way to the Supreme Court.
You get a subpoena, you file what's called a motion to quash. We'll prepare to handle it in court.
The Russia investigation had the president fuming all weekend from a rally in Ohio.
The Russian witch hunt, a Democrat-inspired witch hunt.
To his working vacation at his Bedminster golf course, where he repeatedly lashed out on Twitter. Fueling his anger, a Washington Post report that says the president is increasingly worried about how the probe could hurt what he calls innocent and decent people, namely his son Don Jr., for his part in that now infamous Trump Tower meeting with Paul Manafort, Jared Kushner, and the Russians. The president writing, fake news reporting, a complete fabrication that I am concerned about the meeting my wonderful son Donald had in Trump Tower. Initially, Don Jr. claimed the meeting was about Russian adoptions.
Did you tell your father anything about this?
No. It was such a nothing. There was nothing to tell.
But now, his clearest admission yet on the true purpose to get dirt on Hillary Clinton. Tweeting, this was a meeting to get information on an opponent, totally legal and done all the time in politics, and it went nowhere. I did not know about it. While the president publicly maintains he did not know about the meeting in advance, sources tell ABC News his personal lawyer at the time, Michael Cohen, says the president did know and before it happened. and it has caught the attention of the special counsel, who wants to know what really happened behind closed doors. The president's lawyer, Jay Sekulow, telling George there was nothing illegal about it.
How would that be legal?
Well, the question is, how would it be illegal? What law, statute, or rule or regulation has been violated? Nobody's pointed to one.
Well, actually, Mueller's team has pointed to some. Among the things they are investigating: defraud, conspiracy to defraud, and aiding and abetting. The law on this is very clear. It is illegal for campaigns to accept foreign contributions. The question that Mueller will no doubt be asking, is that what happened, George, inside that Trump Tower meeting?
A lot of facts to run down. Okay, Cecilia, thanks very much. Let's talk about it now with our chief legal analyst, Dan Abrams. And Dan, let's begin with yesterday's tweet, because it's really quite remarkable. The president in that tweet is basically admitting that he misled the country before.
That's right. And Ken Starr, back with the Clinton investigation, determined that lying to the public could be, in and of itself, a ground for impeachment. So you've got, first of all, the evolving stories. And let's be clear, the idea that a lawyer for the President of the United States is coming forward and saying, hey, you know, I had bad information, you know, as if that happens all the time, that a lawyer for the President gets bad information about a critical...
From the President,
I mean, this doesn't happen. So you've got the evolving statements about was the president involved in writing the initial statement for Donald Jr. To what was the purpose of the meeting. Then you've got the legal questions. And as Cecilia points out, there are a couple of possible laws here. Number one, of course, is the basic campaign finance violations. Did he solicit something of value? They're going to have to look to intent, et cetera. And the other is a broader statute, which Robert Mueller has been using in connection with a number of the Russians that have been indicted, and that is broadly a conspiracy to defraud the United States. And that just means, in essence, a conspiracy to try to help affect the election in a fraudulent way.
Well, one denial the president is sticking to right now is that he didn't know anything about that Trump Tower meeting.
He has to stick to that part, because if he says he knew about the meeting, that almost certainly means Donald Jr. lied in front of Congress. And I think that would almost certainly mean that Donald Jr. would get indicted. And that's, I think, got to be his number one concern. We can talk about all of these questions of campaign finance law and possible defrauding of the United States. The number one concern of his right now has to be that statement to Congress from Don Jr. that Donald Trump didn't know about the meeting.
Quickly, another reason he can't or won't meet with Mueller.
The Mueller meeting isn't going to happen. We've talked about this many times. I don't think there's going to be an interview. I also don't think they're going to try and subpoena him.
Dan Abrams, thanks very much. Amy?
All right, George, now to that suspected assassination attempt on Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. Drones with explosives going off while he gave a speech. Venezuelans are saying co-conspirators from the U.S. were involved, but White House officials are denying that. Our chief national correspondent, Matt Gutman, has all the latest on this story. Good morning, Matt.
Hey, good morning, Amy. If this suspected coup turns out to be real, it would be the first ever assassination attempt using a drone on a head of state. Now, the Venezuelan regime says the alleged attempt was financed by people in Miami. The White House is saying unequivocally there was no U.S. government involvement at all in whatever happened.
This morning, the U.S. is denying it had any role in the apparent assassination attempt on Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro on Saturday. Maduro was speaking at a military parade in the capital when suddenly you see his wife flinch, then look up. Maduro then looks up. The camera rattles as you hear what appear to be explosions. Within seconds, his security team bounces up, shielding him with those bulletproof blankets and hustling him off stage. Down below, military bands break ranks and scatter. Maduro's administration is claiming 2 drones loaded with 2 pounds of explosives each were detonated near him. I am standing, alive and victorious, ready to continue the battle, he says. The Venezuelan government is blaming the incident on far-right factions inside the country, which they say collaborated with conspirators in both Colombia and the United States. They say the initial investigation shows people living in Florida financed the plot, but provided no specific evidence.
I can say unequivocally there was no U.S. government involvement in this at all.
The Venezuelan government says 7 people were injured, but no one was killed.
Now, there is some suspicion that this was all staged, and even the White House has suggested it might be a setup concocted as a pretext to crack down on the socialist regime's opponents. But given the stampedes of soldiers we saw, the video of Maduro being hustled off stage, it would have to have been an incredibly elaborate hoax.
Yeah, that was
George.
some video. Okay, Matt, thanks very much. We're going to get the latest now on a devastating earthquake in Indonesia. The death toll is growing this morning. At least 91 people killed by the 7.0 quake, and there are still aftershocks. ABC's James Longman is tracking the story. Good morning, James.
Good morning, George. This was a massive earthquake hitting the Indonesian island of Lombok on Sunday morning. So far, we know 91 people have been killed and hundreds more injured, with over 20,000 left homeless. It was a magnitude 7 quake, and it was shallow, only about 6 miles underground, which caused a lot of damage to poorly constructed buildings. And this is the height of the tourist season. Millions visit from around the world each year. And take a look at these people scrambling to get off Gili Island, which also felt the tremors. And you can see here hotel guests on neighboring Bali, people screaming and running from their rooms. Major blackouts have been reported, with some hospitals evacuating patients and doctors tending to them in the streets.
Dozens and dozens of aftershocks continue as well.
Yeah, that's right. There have actually been over 130 aftershocks, George, and thousands remain in emergency shelters. This latest quake comes just a week after another quake killed 16 people. And Indonesia sits on the Pacific Ring of Fire, which is an area of massive seismic activity, and people are really on edge. George.
Yeah, we've learned about that before. James, thanks very much. Michael?
All right, thank you, George. Now to a shocking discovery made by police while they were searching for a missing 3-year-old. Officers uncovering a rural compound in New Mexico where 11 children were living with no food, little food, and no water. ABC's Ariel Reshef is here with the latest. Good morning, Ariel.
Good morning to you, Michael. Authorities were searching for that 3-year-old, but say what they discovered shocked the conscience of even the most seasoned in law enforcement. Those squalid conditions for those 11 children, the worst they had ever seen.
This morning, investigators are searching for a 3-year-old boy after New Mexico authorities discovered 11 emaciated children inside this secluded compound.
I'm a 30-year police officer. This is by far the worst thing I've ever seen as far as living conditions. This one hit us all very hard.
Authorities saying they found no running water or electricity, and those children ages 1 to 15 living in filth in a tent tucked deep in the desert.
These children, the best way to describe it is they literally look like starving refugees.
The FBI and local agents initially drawn to the makeshift property during their hunt for 39-year-old Siraj Wahaj, wanted in Georgia for allegedly abducting his 3-year-old son. The Taos sheriff sending in tactical teams. The 3-year-old not inside, but his father holed up, heavily armed.
5 fully loaded AR magazines, 30-round magazines. He was in possession of an AR assault rifle and 4 other handguns.
Wahaj eventually surrendering, along with another man identified as Lucas Morton, who was arrested for harboring a fugitive. All of the children taken into emergency protective custody.
Our goal is to, as quickly as possible, get them assessed, cleaned up, fed. Everything about it is shocking.
Wahaj is being held on a warrant for child abduction. The FBI is leading the search for his 3-year-old son. Authorities tell us all of those kids in the compound are related somehow and may have been living there at least 2 months. Just at least 2 months. They don't know how long.
Horrific. All right, Ariel, thank you so much. Now to new developments in the desperate search for Molly Tibbetts, the 20-year-old Iowa college student who's been missing now for more than 2 weeks. Investigators are following hundreds of leads, and ABC's Alex Perez has the latest.
The search to find Molly Tibbetts entering its 3rd week, and the reward for her return now topping $250,000. Her parents praying they'll see their daughter again soon.
You can't give up hope. I mean, I know if it were me that were missing, Molly wouldn't give up hope.
The 20-year-old missing for 19 days, at last spotted running in Brooklyn, Iowa. Her family and friends
just be desperate.
On Sunday, authorities discovering the body of a woman just 2 hours away from where Molly disappeared. But while they are investigating the discovery as a suspicious death, they have confirmed that the victim is not Tibbetts. Investigators say they followed up on hundreds of leads and tips from the public and conducted numerous searches on farms in the area, questioning 56-year-old Wayne Cheney, who lives just 500 yards from a pig farm they've searched. He denies knowing Molly. Neither he nor anyone else has been named a person of interest.
Family members believe a tip from the public will be the key to solving this case. They're hoping that big reward money will motivate someone to come forward. Michael?
All right, thank you so much, Alex. Really appreciate it. A celebration of one of TV's most famous women, Facts of Life star Charlotte Rae, also known as Mrs. Garrett, passing away on Sunday. And Amy, so many people have come forward paying tribute to her and this character, just her as a person.
It's so true. You know, it's like a part of our, evolution growing up. Mrs. Garrett. The Facts of Life, both on and off screen.
You take the good, you take the bad.
As the loving and wise house mother, Mrs. Garrett, she guided the girls of the Facts of Life through their adolescence.
If you hit me with that, I'm going to lay you out. That's all.
And actress Charlotte Rae's beloved character guided so many fans along the way.
Facts of Life, the Facts of Life.
First appearing as housekeeper Edna Garrett on the sitcom Different Strokes in 1978.
Kimberly Willis, Mrs. Garrett.
The popularity of her character leading to a spinoff, bringing Mrs. Garrett to the Eastland High School, where she mentored Blair, Joe, Natalie, and Tootie.
We are in trouble.
And when the show was honored at the 2011 TV Land Awards, the girls took time to honor their matriarch.
An amazing, fearless leader, the very amazing star of our show, Charlotte Rae, was just extraordinary. And we love you, Charlotte.
Rae passed away Sunday at 92. Overnight, Todd Bridges, who played Willis Jackson on Different Strokes, tweeting about her on our show.
Tootie!
And Kim Fields, who played Tootie, tweeting, "My heart is heavy, yet sorry, no words at the moment, just love and tears, and yeah, smiles." And actress Mindy Cohn, who played Natalie on The Facts of Life, sharing this message. "It's with a heavy heart and lots of tears, but a smile as I think of her, that I now move through the world without this incredible force of a woman being in it. She was my champion, a teacher, a proud example of the tenacity and perseverance needed to live an actor's life. I love you, Char." That just speaks volumes about who she was. And it makes me feel good to know, you love her on TV, but to know she really was that person.
But everyone says smile. She brought a lot of joy to a lot of people, us included.
And we're all smiling thinking about her this morning. We're going to move on down to Ginger. Ginger, you got Hurricane Hector brewing in the Pacific?
One of 4 tropical waves, George. Look at this. There's so much going on. We'll circle them for you so you can see. And actually, Tropical Storm Ileana will be going north and west, and there's a tropical storm watch for Cabo. But let's focus in on Hector because it is the largest, the strongest. It's actually very compact in size, but it looked like it'll brush just south of Hawaii. This cone can shift 150 miles this far out. So if it nudges north, the impacts will be much more than high surf to Hawaii. So we'll be watching this one through the week. Your local weather's coming up in 30 seconds. First, though, we've got the Select Cities, sponsored by Liberty Mutual.
You're turning onto the street when you barely clip a passing car. Minor accident, no big deal, right? Wrong. Your insurance company is going to raise your rate after the other car got a scratch so small you could have fixed it with a pen. Maybe you should take that pen and use it to sign up with a different insurance company.
For drivers with accident forgiveness, Liberty Mutual won't raise their rates because of their first accident. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Back to back, our highest temperatures in more than a month. We continue through this heat wave. Yesterday was 91, today 93. Tomorrow, highest temperatures of. Things are going to be heating up rather quickly, probably 90 degrees even by lunchtime today. There could be an isolated shower, a little pop-up thunderstorm coming our way between 2 and 6 afternoon. Break the heat and even a little bit the humidity by the end of the work week. Thursday's high 87 with only a 20% chance of rain.
So water spouts, they happen in the Keys. You see them all the time. They actually were happening in Italy. And that video, there it is. There we go, right? Oh, no, that's the Manitoba, Canada. You know what? Tornadoes.
Close enough.
They have an Italian water spout. But guess what?
I'm amazed you knew that was Canada.
Say, that's impressive.
Hey, I've studied geography in the earth.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
Of course,
Ginger.
thank you.
Coming up, Demi Lovato breaks her speaking for the first time about that drug overdose that nearly took her life. Her message this morning.
On a mission, his shocking stings all caught on camera when we come back. Stay with us.